The glass shattered before anyone screamed. The black Range Rover spun twice before slamming into a concrete barrier outside the Eco-Bridge tollgate. Smoke poured from the hood. Sparks hissed under the tires. Inside the wreck, Tarila Miles, Nigeria's youngest female billionaire and founder of Skyline Energy, gasped for air. Blood trickled from a small cut above her eyebrow. Her driver lay unconscious beside her, his head resting against the steering wheel. Her mind swirled. Just 10 minutes ago, she was on her way to announce a major merger, one that would make Skyline the first female-led oil corporation in West Africa. Now, someone had rammed her off the road. She reached for her phone. Gone. Her handbag gone. Only smoke and the faint sound of honking cars filled the night. Then a hand. It tore open the back door from the outside. A man's rough voice shouted through the smoke. "Ma'am, can you move?" Tarila blinked through the haze. A tall man, clothes dirty, facing behind a hoodie, reached in and pulled her free. She stumbled out just as a second car screeched to a halt nearby. Matte gray, tinted windows. 2 men jumped out, guns drawn. The stranger cursed under his breath and shoved Tarila behind a broken bus stop shelter. "Stay down," he hissed. The men from the gray car moved fast. One scanned the wreck. The other muttered into a radio. Confirmed visual. Target's vehicle disabled. Finish it. Tarila froze. Finish it? Her heart thudded so loud she thought it might echo through the night. The stranger beside her took a deep breath, eyes narrowing. "They're not here to help," he said quietly. "They're here to kill you." Before she could speak, he lunged from cover, grabbed a loose metal rod, and swung it hard at the first man's arm. The gun clattered to the ground. A quick scuffle, one punch, one grunt, and both men were down. The stranger grabbed Tarila's wrist. "Move. Now!" They darted through the chaos, across a service lane, disappearing into a maze of narrow alleys. The city swallowed them, horns, generators, and the thick scent of diesel and fear. Tarila's breath came in short, sharp bursts. Her heels scraped against the rough pavement. "Who are you?" she gasped. "Someone who still believes in saving people." The man replied, voice hoarse. "Even the rich ones." They stopped beneath a flickering streetlight. His hood fell back, revealing a gaunt, weary face, eyes sharp, jaw unshaven, and a faint scar along his cheek. "My name's Zane," he said. "And you're not safe, Miss Miles." Tarila's knees trembled. They knew my route. Only my team had that information. Zane nodded slowly. "Then your problem isn't outside your company. It's inside." Thunder rolled across the sky. The city lights flickered. Somewhere in the distance, sirens wailed. Tarila stared at the stranger, a man who appeared from nowhere, fought off armed killers, and somehow knew too much. "Why are you helping me?" she asked, still shaking. "Because once," Zane said, "no one helped me when they came for my boss, and she died because I stayed quiet." His words hit like a knife. Before she could reply, his head snapped up. Headlights flashed at the end of the alley. A black SUV slowed. Zane grabbed her hand again. "They found us. We need to move." They ran. Down the alley, over puddles, past barking dogs and rusted gates, until the night swallowed them whole. The night refused to end. Rain began to fall, turning the streets of Suralere into mirrors of light and oil. Zane led Tarila through a narrow corridor between old buildings until they reached a dimly lit compound, quiet, half abandoned. He unlocked a metal door and motioned her in. The room was bare except for a mattress, a flickering bulb, and a laptop that looked older than time. "Sit," he said. "They'll keep searching the main roads. We stay off the grid until sunrise." Tarila obeyed silently. Her body ached, her heart still pounding from the crash. She had led board meetings, silenced journalists, and negotiated billion-dollar deals, but nothing had prepared her for being hunted like an animal. Zane moved to the window, peeking through a slit in the curtain, then turning to her. "You need to tell me everything. Who knew your route tonight?" Tarila swallowed hard. "Only my executive assistant, my driver, and 2 security personnel. And maybe my COO, because he signed a clearance." Zane nodded. "What's his name?" "Dr. Kalu Igbokwe." Zane froze. For the first time, something like recognition flickered across his face. "Kalu Igbokwe," he murmured. "I know that name." Tarila frowned. "How?" "He was the man behind the oil rig collapse in Port Harcourt 2 years ago. I was head of field security then, until I took the fall for his corruption." Her eyes widened. "You worked for Skyline?" "Until he ruined me," Zane said quietly. "I lost my job, my home, and my wife left with our son. All because Kalu needed a scapegoat." Silence filled the room. Thick, heavy raw. Tarila exhaled, guilt creeping into her chest. She had defended Kalu countless times at board meetings. "I thought he was loyal." Zane gave a bitter laugh. "He's loyal to whoever pays him most." She looked down. The memory of the crash replayed in her mind. The sudden hit, the precision, the timing. This wasn't a random attack. It was an execution. "So he wants me dead," she whispered, "to take over Skyline." Zane leaned forward. "Not just take over. He's selling your company's offshore licenses to a private Russian firm. The deal's supposed to finalize by morning." Tarila's pulse quickened. "That's impossible. I never approved." "He doesn't need your approval if you're declared dead." The room went silent again, only the soft dripping of rain outside. Zane stood, pacing slowly. "We have maybe 6 hours before your own security team starts reporting to him. Once he controls the narrative, every camera, every cop, every headline will say, 'Tarila Miles killed in car accident.' You'll be gone." She stood too, fists clenched. "Then we stop him." Zane turned to her, surprised. "You're not thinking straight." "I built Skyline from scratch," she snapped. "If he wants a war, I'll give him one." Zane stared at her. This woman in a torn designer blouse, blood still drying on her face, yet speaking like a soldier. "You'll need proof," he said finally. "Documents, transactions, emails, anything that ties him to the sale." She nodded. "They're on my office server, level 3. Restricted access. I can get in." Zane frowned. At night, with half the building crawling with private guards loyal to him. Tarila's lips curved slightly. "Zane, I designed that building security system. I know its blind spots better than anyone." He stared at her for a long moment. Then, slowly, a smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. "All right then," he said. "We take it back. Together." They moved like shadows through the back streets of Victoria Island. Zane wore a black jacket, Tarila a borrowed hoodie. The Skyline Tower loomed ahead, all glass and light, like a monument to everything she once believed in. Zane stopped a few meters from the service gate. "You sure about this?" Tarila looked up at the building. "If I don't fight for it, I die for nothing." He nodded. "Then let's make it count." They slipped through the side entrance. No alarms, no sound, just the hum of servers and distant thunder. Inside her office, Tarila powered up her console. Her fingers flew across the keys. "Give me 2 minutes," she whispered. Zane watched the hallway, ears tuned to every sound. Suddenly, footsteps. He signaled her to stop typing. The elevator doors opened down the hall. 2 men stepped out, both armed, wearing Skyline security badges. Zane whispered, "There's men." Tarila quickly, removed a flash drive from the computer, and slipped it into her pocket. "Got the proof?" Zane asked. "Everything," she said. "Emails, accounts, the offshore transfer document. All of it." The guards turned the corner and saw them. "Stop," one shouted. Zane fired first, a warning shot that hit the metal railing beside them. "Run," he shouted. Tarila bolted down the hallway, the flash drive clutched tight in her fist. Bullets sparked against the walls as Zane covered her retreat. They burst through the emergency exit and into the rain-soaked parking lot. Zane jumped into a nearby sedan, hot-wired it in seconds. As the tires screeched and the car sped off, Tarila looked back at the building. Her life's work, now corrupted by betrayal. She whispered softly to herself, "He stole my company, but he won't steal my name." The rain hadn't stopped. It came down in sheets as the old sedan roared to the wet Lagos Expressway, its headlights slicing through fog and tension. Tarila sat in the passenger seat, hands trembling, her blouse soaked. She clutched the flash drive like it was her last heartbeat. Zane's focus never wavered. His jaw was tight, his eyes locked on the road ahead. Every few seconds, he checked the rear-view mirror. "They'll track your license plates," Tarila said breathlessly. "Already ditched the plates 10 minutes ago," Zane replied. "You thought of everything, didn't you?" "I learned the hard way. Never let the system catch up." She looked out the window. Police vans, toll gates, camera poles. Everything she once trusted now felt like a trap. A dark SUV appeared behind them, headlights blinding. It swerved left, then right, closing in fast. Zane cursed. "Hold on." The chase began. The SUV accelerated, bumping the sedan's rear bumper. The car jerked violently. Tarila screamed. Zane swerved through traffic, horns blaring as the SUV kept coming. He turned sharply into a side road, tires skidding across puddles. The SUV followed. "They're not giving up." Tarila shouted. "Then we don't stop," Zane replied. He pulled a sudden left, driving into a narrow construction zone filled with scaffolding and half-built pillars. The SUV tried to follow, too fast, and crashed into a mound of steel rods with a thunderous crash. The impact shook the ground. Silence followed. Zane exhaled. That should slow them down. But he knew it wouldn't stop them for long. They finally stopped. An old motel sat by the roadside, its neon sign half dead, flickering. Rest Haven INN. Inside, Zane dropped his soak jacket and checked the window blinds. Tarila sat on the edge of the bed, exhausted, her body trembling. For the first time, she looked truly human. Not the powerful CO, not the public icon, just a woman cornered by betrayal. Zane handed her a towel. "You should dry off before you catch cold." She smiled faintly. "You sound like someone's father." He paused, eyes softening for a brief moment. "I used to be." She looked at him, curious. "What happened?" Zane didn't answer at first. He sat down across from her, staring at the rain outside. "After Kalu framed me for that rig collapse, I lost everything. My wife left. She said she couldn't live with a criminal. I haven't seen my son since he was 6. Tarila's voice softened. "I'm sorry." He shrugged. "Don't be. Maybe I wasn't worth saving back then. But tonight, helping you feels like a second chance." Silence hung between them, heavy but honest. Then Tarila spoke. "When this is over, I'll clear your name." Zane met her eyes. "You can't even clear your own yet." She smiled sadly. "Then we'll do it together." Meanwhile, at Skyline Tower, Dr. Kalu Igbokwe stood before the board of directors, expression calm, voice smooth. "It is with deep regret," he announced, "that we confirm the tragic death of our CEO, Ms. Tarila Miles, in an accident late last night." Gasps filled the room. Cameras clicked. The press release was ready. The body non-existent, but the narrative already written. Kalu's assistant leaned in, whispering, "Sir, the search teams report no sign of her." Kalu's jaw tightened. "Find her before she finds me." Tarila connected the flash drive to Zane's laptop. Lines of code filled the screen. Encrypted folders, offshore accounts, Russian names. She opened one file labeled Project Nova. Inside were scanned contracts showing that Skyline had been secretly exporting crude oil through a ghost subsidiary, Ori Maritime Holdings, for nearly 3 years. Zane frowned. This isn't just corporate theft. It's treason. He's been moving state-owned crude under a fake company. Tarila's heart pounded. If this leaks, it could destroy Skyline forever. Zane looked at her. Then maybe it should. You can't rebuild on rot. Her eyes glistened. For a moment, the weight of truth was too heavy. She had built Skyline to prove women could lead in a world ruled by men. But somehow, her dream had become a weapon in the wrong hands. Then her phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. "I warned you not to cross me. Next time I won't miss." K.I. Zane read it over her shoulder. His face hardened. "He knows you're alive." Tarila, clench your fists. "Then we take this to the authorities." Zane shook his head. "No one in Lagos will touch Kalu. He owns half the system." "Then what do we do?" she whispered. He looked at the flash drive, then at her. "We go north. Abuja. My old contact at the Anti-Corruption Bureau owes me his life. He can protect you and expose this." She hesitated, then nodded. "Let's end this." The sun rose over the horizon, golden light cutting through the morning fog. As they drove out of Lagos, Tarila looked back one last time at the skyline of the city she built. Her empire now a battlefield. Zane adjusted the mirror and muttered, half to himself, "You ready for the real fight?" She met his gaze. Her voice steady, fearless. "I was born ready." The car sped toward the long highway. 2 fugitives bound by betrayal, redemption, and a truth too dangerous to ignore. But behind them, far down the road, a black SUV rolled out quietly from shadows. The chase wasn't over.